allegiance to the flag of the United
of the
States
United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
liberty
all.
and justice for all.
You want to do the invocation?
Mouth to speak, in the ears of all who listen, and at the heart of all who say and do. We want this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, let's go ahead and go to approval of agenda item 1A.
Yes, sir, Chairman. Resolution, Resolution 2021-23, approval of work service agreement with LNG Engineering for redesign and change to Hidalgo County Irrigation District Number 2 access. Chairman, Directors, this is an item that we had in the original design for the 365 tollway. And as part of the right-of-way acquisition process, the Irrigation District Number 2 has changed their position on what was originally designed. This is a bridge structure that spans their main canal. This is the canal that provides the water supply for the cities of McAllen, Pharr, Edinburgh, and San Juan, raw water supply for those cities. So the issue at hand is that they want to be able to maintain their canal that we span over. So they're asking that we raise the bridge approximately 8 feet from the top of bank and lengthen it approximately 40 additional feet, so that they're able to get an excavator under the bridge and maintain their channel. Originally, we had provided for riprap, lining the channel for riprap, which initially they accepted, but they changed their mind, and now they want to be able to get heavy equipment in there and maintain their channel. So this will require a modification of the bridge, like I said, making it 40 feet longer and 8 feet higher. And so this is to make those design changes. The work authorization is in the amount of $440,000.95. Staff is recommending approval.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the amount. Can you be clear? Because there's an echo.
$440, $70.65. $440,070.65, Director.
Is that just for construction and engineering or both?
That's just for engineering. That is to redesign the bridge to be taller, redesign the bridge to be longer, and then retaining walls, and then embankment that goes, because it's a longer bridge now. It's got longer approaches, and so it's a redesign.
I mean, did somebody look at it to make sure it's proper engineering fee for that kind of job?
Yes, sir. We did. We looked at it. Staff did, and then we had our GEC take a look at it. And so,
did you submit those reports to review? Because I didn't get mine.
Yes, sir. We did. They were included in your packet.
Scenarios based on
And I emailed them also.
If it's really going to be a fourth quarter event, and are we expecting like first quarter of 22?
I think there was two people talking, so I couldn't hear either one.
Yeah, somebody else needs to mute their phone, whoever it was.
Yes, sir. So that cost was included in your packet, Director, and your hard packet, and we also emailed it to you.
I tell you I don't do emails, but I have not seen the hard packet. I would like to review that, but I don't want to delay things either. But $440,000 just because somebody decides it's not going to work the way it was. I think, have you discussed is it the water district? Which water district is it?
Number 2, yes, sir. I've actually met with the board of directors on probably half a dozen occasions.
David, have you been involved in that and looked at the cost and all that?
No, sir.
Just somebody changed their mind. Plus the construction. How much is the construction going to be?
So Eric, let me have Eric answer that question. He'll come up and answer the cost.
Yeah, I think we need to look at that very thoroughly because we got.
Sure. So one of the things that the previous design from 2017 does is that it introduces a lot of work inside of the canal. And when we're talking about the main canal, we're talking about a span of about 100+ feet that we're going over. So the bridge itself,
How
as it
many
was,
square feet?
sorry,
How many square feet are we going over?
square feet of riprap that we're placing.
I didn't, it's, I get some feedback. So I can't.
Yeah.
Alonso, they're going 8 feet higher, Alonso.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I heard that earlier.
So the canal is about 100 feet wide, Director.
Okay,
Right.
okay,
So we're going over that. So the original design was a lower bridge, a low port bridge. So we were maybe going over the banks by about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. And the issue was always going to be at the maintenance of the canal underneath. Since this roadway is designed for 50+ years, the district said, we need to get down there and maintain and dredge our canal on occasion. They didn't give us a frequency, but we imagine anywhere between 5 and 10 years, depending on the amount of sediment that builds up. So that introduced a lot of work into the actual canal, where we actually have to shut it down and do some very expensive bypass pumping. For this one particular location, we had it priced at about $350,000 just for the bypass pumping alone. The riprap that is introduced into this area is about $100,000. And that's, beyond the bridge structure that we were already designing in the 2017 concept. And then in 2021, or in the negotiations, when we started rounding the corner to acquire the right-of-way, the remaining right-of-way with the district, which, by the way, this is really the only remaining right-of-way on the project we have left. What happened is that they changed their tune. They said, well, instead of the riprap, we want to be able to get vehicles in there. And the only way to get vehicles underneath into that.
I heard that. So let me get this straight. You're gonna add a few feet in lengthwise to the bridge and raise it 8 feet, and the engineering's are $400 and some thousand. What is the construction cost
So
in addition to what?
right. So the net cost, once you remove the cost and add the cost, so you're gonna add a retaining wall as a result of this design change. You have to raise up the wall because we're in limited right of way. So you're gonna add embankment, you're gonna add retaining wall, you're gonna lengthen the bridge essentially by 40 feet. So that adds square footage of actual bridge, and the TxDOT averages for bridge are about $100 per square foot on the more conservative end. So the net cost is $625,000 in construction costs that this adds, but it avoids.
$1 million just for somebody to change their mind?
Yes, sir. Correct. You're correct.
It's $1,075,000.
So the engineering fees are what? How much percentage is that from the 600,000? It's like 16, 17%?
Well, 12%.
What?
12%. 12% in this case, it represents 60 sheets of, plan specifications and estimates that have to be, relooked at, signed and sealed. In addition to that, it's going to require a new geotechnical study for the stability of the new structure. So it's essentially a brand new bridge. It's going to be a massive amount of sheets, and we have to turn it out, assuming that our letting schedule holds. All this has to be turned into us in the first week of September, so that we could still issue it to the contractors while they're bidding the 365 job and avoid a change.
Hey, Pilar.
Yes, sir.
Pilar, can you hear me? This is Forrest. Will you explain quickly to Director Cantu some of what you have gone through with Sunny Hinojosa District 2, and then maybe walk through briefly the fact that this item was on the agenda last month. You pulled it to go back, sit back down with LNG and go back over these costs, because they're twice what the number should be relative to the percentage of cost, and they're using the time issue as a factor in why this thing's so expensive, the engineering, because it's more than half of what the construction cost is, if we're understanding you correctly.
That is correct, Director. So to answer the first part of your question, we've met with Irrigation District number 2, the general manager, Sunny Hinojosa, and the board of directors probably half dozen times. We've offered them different alternatives. We did the riprap was the original one. Number two, we went back and said, we'll line the whole canal. That wasn't acceptable. We offered to have the RMA enter into a formal agreement with the authority where we would provide the maintenance upon their request under the structure. We would have to go out and dredge it. I mean, we offered them several different alternatives to this. And the only one that they would accept was the raising of the bridge and lengthening of the bridge to basically be able to get a long reach excavator or an excavator underneath the bridge to dredge out their, and so they're, they've got the right of way that we've negotiated the right of way, so that's really not an issue. It's just that they won't approve the right of way acquisition until they get this issue resolved. So they, they're
That doesn't be a lot of that doesn't mean that he's right. That's just their preference. Is there no other? There's no other solution to the cost and or to what they want.
Well, we've offered them.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, we've offered them several other options that are viable, but they have not accepted them. And so,
David, have you been involved with this, David?
No, sir, I'm not.
Let me ask you this. I know there's a certain water district being in real estate and talking to other banks that's all of a sudden woke up and wants to have rights to easements that they were normally given away or some kind of rights, and it's got a lot of real estate on hold right now. Is it the same water district?
Yes, sir.
Do you know?
Yes.
This is District 2, yes, sir.
Uh-oh. So why all of a sudden they're changing their minds about all these things? Does anybody know?
no, we're not sure. I mean, we've been trying to get this resolved for quite a while, Director.
No, but I'm talking about all the banks around here that do real estate loans have problems because they're laying some kind of interest in some kind of rights they have, and I have stopped a lot of real estate deals from moving forward.
Yes, sir. That's my understanding also. And they're.
But is this part of their changes they're doing? Because I mean, to me, spend $1 million some just because somebody decided all of a sudden to change it that it was done since 4 years ago. Now they want to change it. It's going to cost $1 million. I think somebody should talk to them serious.
Director Cantu, this is Forrest. The way I understood it, Pilar, you might talk in more detail about this. It's a maintenance issue, correct, Pilar? They for whatever the reason, they felt like they needed to get their equipment in there to maintain this themselves.
Yeah, but I thought we agreed to maybe do our maintenance ourselves.
Well, that was my thought. And talking with Pilar about it, I figured there was a way around it, but they keep pushing him back. How long have you been dealing with this, Pilar? Over a year, haven't you?
Probably for a couple of years, Director. And yes, we offered them that we would maintain it.
Look, for me, I think I would like a better explanation than that, because spend $1.1 million of taxpayers' money because somebody changes their mind with really no rhyme or reason. I have a problem with that. And they want to be known as people are stopping progress, the water district, and all that. I don't know how they get elected, how the deal is, but it doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, and then the engineering cost on top of it to me was
right. That seems like a lot of money for just raising the bridge, but I don't know that either because I don't have the figures, and it's my fault if you all delivered them.
Yeah, yes, sir. And so, Director Reynolds, to answer the second part of your question, as far as the design work and the cost, so one of the constraints we have is that we're getting ready to bid out the project, and so we'd like to issue this as an addendum to the plans instead of a change order, which will probably be more costly.
Well, I mean, again, why should it cost the same amount of work? I mean, I don't understand this. So I'm honestly, I think we should have met in person. I don't like this phone deal.
Yes, sir.
Pilar, what kind of ditches canal is this? Is this it's a water district, which is basically a irrigation canal. But what's the maintenance cost or maintenance budget, or what is it that we're looking at, or what is the water district looking at it from a maintenance perspective?
So it's an earthen canal, so it's got earthen banks. It's not lined or anything with concrete. And typically, what they do is they mow the banks and they dredge the channel with a long reach or an excavator, and they pull all the sediment out. It's a fairly wide channel. It's probably on the order, Eric said, about 100 feet wide in width, so it's a fairly large body of water. And then the most critical part is that it's the main water supply for the city of McAllen, city of Pharr, city of Edinburgh, and city of city of San Juan. So this is the drinking water supply, and it's in its raw form before it's treated.
It was like that 4 years ago too.
Yes, sir, it was, but at that time, the riprap was acceptable. The lining it was acceptable, and they've since changed their position. And they cited some other areas where they've had maintenance issues as the justification for it. Again, we've offered them, we thought that were some feasible alternatives, like completely lining it with concrete. The next option was completely lining it with concrete, and the RMA would maintain it. You know, whenever they told us to, we'd be responsible for getting in there and providing the maintenance to dredge it, but they wouldn't.
Do they realize it's gonna cost over $1 million for it to us and for the
Yes.
taxpayers?
Yes, sir, it did. We went through the numbers with them, the cost,
When you say that, who's them?
the district, the irrigation district number 2.
Who's in
But
charge of district number
Person
2?
or all the board members?
So the general manager is Sunny Hinojosa, and then they have a board of directors, and we've met with the general manager and the board of directors to explain these.
David, can you and senior executives, wherever the committee is, go meet with them
Yes, sir.
and schedule maybe a live board meeting?
Yeah, we can do that. Andrew, are you experiencing this everywhere too?
Good morning, Chairman. No, we haven't run across any dramatic increases on anything thus far. TxDOT hasn't advised us of any dramatic increases. As you know, we're going through our 10-year approval process with TxDOT right now. They have a hearing on it tomorrow. We haven't seen that yet, so I'm not certain what may be attached with what we're doing as what the RMA is doing, or if this may be localized.
I just think that there's somebody figuring out there's money to be made, so they're trying to hit us for it, and I just don't think it's right.
Well, but wait a minute. When you say something like that, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
money to be made. I mean,
Obviously, we just got the funding, right?
but yeah, but we're not, let's say I'm pointing, gentlemen. Pilar, what is there another option, or what leverage do we have with the irrigation water district? I mean, what is it that we have? Where are we going? Besides just have a conversation and tell them that this may be out of line, what legal or position can we have?
So my understanding, our only other option at this time is to go into condemnation proceedings with them. And at the end of the day, we still may end up having to provide them with the bridge they want. As they'll claim damages.
Well, I'm still, I mean, we can argue all day and argue both ways. I think we ought to have a meeting with them, let them know. What's wrong with that?
We can certainly do that.
Okay, I move that we do that. How's that?
Agreed.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't hear you all there.
Zeke will abstain.
You have conflict?
No, do you?
No, I don't have any conflict. But
don't have
you
any
either vote
conflict.
yes or no. Why would you abstain unless you have a conflict?
Because I don't understand where we're going with this conversation.
That's exactly why we need to have a meeting. You're making the point.
They already had meetings after meetings. My whole point is, what leverage do we have to change the water district's mind besides just going to talk to them, which our administration already did with their administration and their board?
I can think of over 1 million reasons.
And you think that you're going to change their mind? Share with us why.
I don't know, but they might and save $1 million.
Tell us what to do.
Pilar, can we set up a meeting
Yes,
for
sir.
later this week?
Yes, sir. I would just suggest we'll set up a meeting with a couple of the board members to go visit with the water district and see if we can get something worked out.
They probably.
Mr. Cantu, I don't appreciate your comment, Mr. Cantu. I don't appreciate your comment making that comment about me. Don't ever do that again.
I said I asked you if you were conflict. There's no
about me having a conflict. About me having.
No, I'm saying I asked. Hold on. I said you have a conflict. No,
I don't have a conflict. And if I have a conflict, I will make it known to the administration.
Okay. But I've never been to a meeting.
Do not ever ask that question again.
Okay, I'm telling you, I've never been to a meeting where nobody abstains. You put in the board to vote yes or no, not to abstain.
I just don't know why we're going through with this, and maybe you do. I don't. That doesn't mean I have a
Okay,
conflict.
okay, then just vote yes or no.
I'm
That's what I'm saying, doesn't work, at least for me. I don't know about the board.
That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't work with you.
Good.
It may work
Let's
with
take it personally. Let's me personally.
No, I am taking it personal because you said and you made a
No,
comment.
no, no, I'm not saying take it. I said talk
Guys.
personally.
Let's get back to the order of meeting. Let's call for the vote. So at this point, can I call all those in favor, say aye, say aye.
Aye.
To table the meeting, we've got one aye.
Aye.
Two. Please,
What do you,
I'm gonna poll for questions. Paul, can I get your vote, please?
Yeah, hey, this is Moxley, yes, and I want to be involved in that meeting.
Great. All right. You, myself, and Forrest can go meet. Would anybody else like to go to the meeting?
Chairman.
David, this is Forrest. I'd be happy to go because I've been in contact and been in touch with Pilar specifically regarding this issue for the last year, and I've been unhappy with it too. I don't really seem to think that, or I don't understand why we can't come to some other conclusion because, yeah, it's over $1 million. And I think that Pilar needs some help in dealing with, meaning some representation from the board. There may be another way to come to a better conclusion.
And there you go. Oh, Pilar, do you think that the board assistants may help out in talking to them, Pilar?
Yeah, certainly, yes, sir. It'd be nice if we can get a couple board members there to sit down at the table with the staff. Because
and that's fine. And just for the record, because it's $1.1 million, maybe we should have done that before.
Yes, sir.
I agree with Zeke on that.
Yeah.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll set a meeting and we'll invite all the board members if they'd like to attend. So everybody wants to attend can attend. Pilar, can you coordinate that, please?
guys,
This is likely just a reminder, but if you have 4 board members there, you'll have to post it as a public meeting.
All right. So we'll take myself, Moxie, and Forrest, if that's okay.
Okay with me.
if I may say something,
You heard it said you have to post it. You heard that, right?
If we have 4 members, Zeke.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay.
if I may say something,
So for right now, we're going to table item 1A. And again, I'm going to call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All those that abstain.
Aye.
Zeke abstains. Motion carries. Okay. Item 1B.
No, there's no action on item 1B, Chairman, because that's close with 1A.
Contingent on item 1A, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go ahead and post a special call meeting once we know when we'll have the meeting with the water irrigation district number 2, and we'll have a meeting in person next week if possible, as soon as possible. Pilar, please.
Yes, sir. So the next item on the agenda is item 1C, resolution 2021-27, approval of the financial assistance agreement between the Texas Department of Transportation and the Hidalgo County Regional Mobility Authority for a grant used for the construction of the 365 tollway project. Chairman, directors, this is basically the gap funding in the amount of $27 million. It is a grant to the authority with no repayment clause. It's in the amount of $27 million, and it is strictly for construction. Staff recommends approval of the financial assistance agreement.
Okay, we've got a motion from staff. Are there any questions regarding to item 1C, the approval of financial assistance agreements between the state of Texas and the RMA? If not, I entertain a motion for approval.
second,
We got a motion. Got to get a second?
second,
Zeke, second.
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Chairman, we have no further business for the board's consideration.
Okay, so
I just want to say
going
something, Pilar. This is a really important meeting, and to some extent, I'm agreeing with Alonso. Why don't, at this point in time, it's 2021. Why aren't we doing this via Zoom or teleconference of other type? It is real hard to hear you. It is real hard to hear other people. It's real hard to participate. Why are we not doing it in a better format than this?
So the originally, Director, the only reason we called for this was to approve these two items, because the time was of the essence. If not, if we could have waited till the regular meeting, we would have had the in-person meeting.
That's not my question.
Okay.
My question is, why don't we do it via Zoom or another media today, right now, 11:30, but through a different media than just a tele?
Okay, versus the Microsoft Teams, I understand.
Yeah, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, WhatsApp, whatever, you know?
Well, it is on Microsoft Teams, Zeke. I don't know if you got
Really?
the link. Yes, sir.
I didn't get it. I just got the teleconference.
No, there's a Microsoft link on there, sir.
Okay, then that's my bad.
Yes, sir. It is on there. I think what happened, it was a special call meeting. And I think the staff felt like we could do it over the phone, but I concur with you guys, and we'll have a meeting in person. And I did think it was very good points as far as cost overruns and stuff. I was actually out of office last week, but I'll address that with the staff today.
If I may say so.
Yes.
I believe that the Hidalgo County Irrigation District number 2 is the first one benefiting out of all these projects. I mean, it's just a matter of letting them know that it's just too much money. But these guys are the first ones that are going to get a benefit out of the building of both highways. So they should fall into common sense and reduce the extra cost if it's not needed, no?
Yes, I agree with you. And I think one of the problems has been is there's a lot of conflict arising out of this special issue going on with this certain water district. And I don't know what's transpired or what's changed, but we're having these issues at the bank as well, like Mr. Cantu alluded to earlier. But we'll address it.
That one has nothing to do with the other.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. But I don't know up to what authority the water district has to continue to do these things. And that's what we need to research.
I agree.
Okay, if there's no other questions, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? And Pilar, you'll get back to us as soon as possible. Motion from Zeke. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Joaquin. All have a great week. We'll get back to you as soon as possible with a time and date for the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Chairman.
sir. Bye-bye. Yes, sir.